Yesterday in Lesson 3.2, we learned how to solve equations involving the distributive property and combining like terms. In this first example, we can see that we're going to have to distribute because we have in parentheses an addition problem. So the steps that we need to do to solve these complicated equations, the first thing is to look for any distributive property and distribute any necessary numbers. So if we do that in this first problem, we're going to distribute the -2. -2 times 5 is -10, and -2 times 6m is -12m. I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem, and we'll deal with that in the next step. So step 1 was distributive property. Step 2 is to combine any like terms. In this problem, we don't have any like terms that have variables, but -10 and +16 are like terms. -10 plus 16 is 6, and we have -12m equals -90. The third step is to deal with any adding or subtracting. Now we have this 6 out in front, and it's a positive 6, so to get rid of a positive 6, we have to subtract 6 from each side. We're left with -12m on the left side, and on the right side, -96. Step 4, the final step, is to deal with any multiplying or dividing. So to undo multiply by -12, I'm going to divide both sides by -12. The -12's cancel out, and we're left with m equals -96 divided by -12, which is a +8. So m equals 8. In the next example, we can see two sets of parentheses, which means we're going to have to distribute two different numbers. So if we start with the one that's furthest to the left, I'm going to start by distributing a -3 to the 3x and to the 15. -3 times 3x is -9x. -3 times +15 is -45. Now this next set of parentheses, there's no number in front of it, but there's a negative sign. It might help if you put a 1 there so that you know that you're distributing a -1 to every term inside the parentheses. -1 times 10 would be -10, and -1 times x would be -1x, and all of this equals 35. So the first step was to distribute. The second step is to combine any like terms. I'm going to start with the variable terms, -9x and -1x. 9 negatives and 1 negative is 10 negatives, -10x. And then we've got -45 and -10, which gives us -55, and this equals 35. So step 1 was to distribute. Step 2, combine like terms. Step 3 is to now deal with the adding and subtracting. So to get rid of -55, I'm going to add 55. If I do that to the left side, I have to do the same to the right side. Bring down my equal sign. On the left side, I'm left with -10x, and on the right side, I am left with 90. The fourth and final step is to either multiply or divide. To get rid of multiplying by -10, I'm going to divide by -10. So I must do the same thing on the right side. My -10's cancel out, and I'm left with x equals -9.